Peaches, it's Shaaba, welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. I don't even know why I do these introductions anymore. You know exactly what we're going to do. Today we are going to dive into the subreddit AITA. Why? Because it's a little bit of juicy drama, because it hopefully helps a couple people out whilst also helping us expand our own mindsets along the way. Yay growth! Before we do that though, there's another thing to say yay about, and that is my beautiful background. Ah! Can you see these gorgeous prints? I'm so excited to say that I am working with Desenio. From the moment Jamie and I had our own place, I was so excited to order from Desenio. I have been a Desenio fan for literally years. So a big thank you to the team for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know, Desenio are a great site that offers so many gorgeous prints and frames. They do a ton of things. I really love the kookiness of the artists and the artwork that you can get. There are thousands of prints to choose from. And what I definitely did not do to find these 4 final prints was click the little heart button, because you can favorite prints on there to create a short list that you can then sort through. I definitely didn't do that, scrolling through every single one of the many thousands of prints that they had up to about page 80. No, that wasn't me. And I also definitely did not have 200 prints selected in my basket, which I then had to prioritize and whittle down to 4, and then make an excuse to order a lot more for around the rest of the house. So keep an eye on my stories for that. There'll be a lot of prints coming up. I also definitely did not have an argument with Jamie about whether I should buy this beautiful print, which I loved so much. I just loved the fact that brown was so prominent, and there was just this giant smiling coconut, and I was like, wouldn't this look so great for our kids' room? And he's like, Shaaba, we don't have kids yet. And I'm like, I know, but we can still start planning. What I particularly love about Desenio is how easy the site is to navigate and how easy it is to find frames that match the right sizes and the right colours and the right materials for what you want. I normally go for a very classic black frame look, but I really like these light wooden ones from this site. They're just so clean and modern, and I feel fit with this background a little bit better. So if you may be interested in checking out Desenio, they have very generously offered a 45% discount if you use my code upon checkout. That works for all of their prints except for the personalised ones. There's so much to choose from, and that code, much like Cinderella's pumpkin, expires at midnight on the 18th of September. So get your fuzzy little peaches down there to the Desenio site. If you'd like to grab yourself a bargain, the link is right here on screen, and I'll also pop it downstairs in the description box. As we admire the gorgeous Desenio prints in the background, let's go fishing for some a-holes. Are you ready? Am I the asshole for throwing away my stepdaughter's birthday cake? Why would you do that? I've been in Emily's life since she was 14 and she's now 17. Okay, so stepchild, 3 years in the making, the relationship, not the child. My God, has it been rough. Oh, she's with us for 50% of the time, and when she first moved in, we had a whole conversation about how to make this as easy for everyone as possible. I'm not entirely sure about the wording of this, but I really like the idea that there was a conversation. That sounds like good, you know, blended family, parenting, working, yay. If I have an issue, I'll talk to my husband and he handles all the discipline. This is a double-edged sword. She's as sweet as honey when her dad is there, but the moment she's gone, she is an asshole. Oh Lord. I mean, I know this forum is Am I the Asshole, but it just doesn't feel right for a stepmom to be referring to her child as an asshole. Let's see if it's warranted. We'll read on. Her favourite things for her to do at the moment is to ruin my food. If I'm cooking, she'll dump salt in the stew or other things. It's so frustrating, and I haven't been able to catch her. My husband knows and asked about it, but he won't discipline her without proof. When we say discipline though, we do just mean like a chat, right? Because in Asian worlds that means something else that I'm very much against. So I set up a mini camera in the kitchen. Oh, this just doesn't feel like great parenting to me. Someone should just be having a chat. I feel like it's just not a great idea for one parent, the organic parent, to have the discipline, because if you are also in this child's life, you have a right to, within well-communicated boundaries, set your own boundaries with other people that you are living with. You know, she's 17. She can have this chat. You should be like, hey, babe, why are you doing this? You're clearly hurt. You're clearly upset. Something's going on. Let's talk about it. I set up a mini camera in the kitchen. Today I was making her cake. Her birthday's in a week, but I was going to surprise her before she went back to her mum. I put them in the oven and she goes over, takes them out and dumps a ton of salt on top of it. I threw them out and told her that that was the birthday cake and she's not going to get a new cake from me. She then went to her father and tells him that I messed up the cake and won't fix it for her. That is cheeky. I mean, she's 17, right? Like, that's rude. He comes home pissed at me, so I show him the video. He's now even more pissed off that I filmed in the house, even though this has been a problem for a while, and he wouldn't do anything. Hang on, didn't he say that he wouldn't do anything without proof? So he basically all but told you to get proof. You then got proof in, to be fair, ways that are just not going to be beneficial to the relationship. I appreciate why you felt the need to do it, and now he's mad at you. Well, hang on. He's expressing his anger at you. But we all know that an expression of anger isn't necessarily directed at the right person all the time, especially when we are hurt or disappointed. Everyone's calling me a jerk and I don't know now. Should I just remake the cake? Am I the asshole? Everybody sucks here. That is my badge. But I will say, you, lovely OP, suck the least. So maybe it's a not the asshole. Okay, I'm gonna change it. Not the asshole with a tiny everybody sucks here. You've been in this person's life. He's your husband, you're married. You've been in this child's life for over 3 years. Everyone here is capable of communication. Everybody here is somehow hurting. I think the biggest issue here is that dad has not shared responsibility. It sounds like maybe you both decided that. If I have an issue, I talk to my husband, he handles the discipline. It's so hard without knowing the extra details, but it sounds to me like what you've done is created a funnel where the child feels like she can't communicate with you because everything goes through dad, and you can't communicate with her. So it puts dad in a really awkward position because he's always bad cop. It puts the child in a position who clearly resents you but probably can't feel like they can communicate it because the structure that you have set up isn't great, and so she's now dumping salt all over your food, which is messed up in its own way, but somebody needs to talk to her, and ideally it should be you because you're the person that she's doing that to, so you can be like, hey, can we work this out? And now that dad's getting the brunt end of it, I think his anger, if I can assume, is not at you filming, but the fact that there is now proof and he has to do something about it because his kid's messing up in a way that will disappoint him because 2 of his loved ones are not getting on, and that makes for a really toxic environment, especially for something like a birthday cake. Actually, no, the more I talk it through, the more I feel this is not the asshole. I'm standing very firm on this. I know I don't sound firm, but I'm firm. I'm sorry this is happening though, and I'm really hoping that maybe the structure is something that can be worked on now. You can all have an open conversation and not do things like filming, which will only increase more and more distrust, but just allow the opportunity for everyone to communicate their hurt. Do you know, if everybody just talked, life would be so much easier. Not the asshole. I would be asking the husband how exactly he was supposed to prove it without cameras. Sounds like he's angry he now has to deal with his daughter more than anything. I agree with the second sentence, but the first one, I do really disagree. I don't think you need to catch people out with cameras, because what does that show? I get it. The stepdaughter isn't doing the nicest thing, but you don't then try and catch them out in a way that means that they're constantly gonna, well, one, resent you for catching them out, but in a way that also means they'll distrust you going forward. You want to create a trusting relationship. I think what should have happened is a conversation that was just like, hey, I know you put salt all over the cakes. This is supposed to be your birthday cake. Why are you acting this way? Have that conversation with all 3 of you. That's the way that you get proof, right? You provide an environment where she feels safe enough to be able to talk about what she's doing and why she's doing it. That to me would be good parenting. I'd have had her dad eat the cake with his daughter. I wouldn't have thrown it out until afterwards. Whoop! I guess that's another way to have done it, to have been like, well, you did this and I made this for you, so here is a cake for you. And if you're going to continue putting salt in it, that's how you're going to have to eat it. And dad, you're going to have to see it too. The more I think about it, the more messed up it seems. Like the dad wouldn't believe you anyway. Like, would you really just dump a bunch of salt in a cake and blame it on your stepdaughter? I've seen weirder things happen, to be fair. Things aren't going to improve with her. The food issue is only what you've discovered. She's likely doing other things to you that you haven't noticed yet. Well, that's a new fear unlocked. I'd be keeping my toothbrush in a safe. No, we don't think about this. But we do have good, healthy communication. Communication is key. Alright, I know you're a bit fiddly-diddly with conviction on that one. Let's hope this one's a little bit more straightforward. Am I the asshole for RSVPing no to my sister's wedding? This is so sad to me. We're not close, to start off with. Our relationship has always been full of conflict since we were kids. She's now 26 and I'm 24. The invite for her wedding came a few days ago, and it came with a note that said that if I attend, I will not be seated with my family during the ceremony or the reception, but at one of the table with all the extra guests. This is so wrong on so many levels. I wonder if the sister wants to send this invite, or if she feels obligated to send it. I'm going to make it very uncomfortable for you to attend. Also, how mean is this to the extra guests? There's so many other guests that aren't just family, and they're important too. I get why this would seem like a dig. It just feels mean to weaponize your loved ones who you are paying a lot of money inviting to come to your wedding to be like, oh, go sit with the nobodies. I won't be in any of the wedding photos either. Oh, so reading all this, I was like, cool, I'll RSVP no and have a nice day doing my own thing. I have no interest in attending a wedding where I'll be stuck around people I don't know and celebrating someone I do not like. You'd both be a lot happier if you weren't there, so don't go. Which is exactly what I did. Oh, I sent my RSVP back via a link that was listed on the invite. The rest of my family, even seeing the letter that she wrote after they confronted me, believe that I'm wrong for RSVPing no. Mum said that I could have gone to her and dad and that they would have straightened out the details in the note. As in, they would have spoken to the sister, or they would have tried to fix it so that wouldn't happen, because your sister seems pretty clear that that's what she would have wanted. It's her day. She's allowed to not invite people. I'm now getting the idea that the parents sort of forced the sister to send the invite. Messy. My grandparents said that I could have still enjoyed spending time with them and the rest of the family. The family that your your sister made very clear that you wouldn't be allowed to spend time with. And my aunt said that I'm going to raise a lot of eyebrows by not attending my own sister's wedding and will make them all look bad. Okay, this is getting my blood boiling. It doesn't matter. Who cares what the family thinks? Why do people feel like it's okay to put some people in severe discomfort, placing them in scenarios that they really don't want to be in, that are often abusive situations, just to keep up a pretense to the rest of the family that it's okay, when the people that you're making uncomfortable are normally closer loved ones than the rest of the family that you're trying to put a facade on? And especially, in my experience, when the rest of the family hear all this damn gossip and know anyway that something is wrong. They're all talking about it behind closed doors. You're trying to create this like false picture that everybody knows is false. Just let people be. I think this is like a generational trauma thing that I'm seeing is being filtered out. But my lord, does it need to happen a lot faster. I told them that she clearly doesn't want me there. I clearly don't want to be there, so why would I go? End of discussion. Finn. They all responded that as an adult, we all do things that we don't always want to do. Which fair, but this is an optional thing in my opinion. No, this is absolutely a need for generational unlearning. Just because other people felt the need to put themselves in really difficult positions and shut up doesn't mean that if you're feeling empowered to do what you want to do, you need to make things uncomfortable, not just for you, but for your sister's wedding day. She doesn't want you there. Her life will be better without it. Your life will be better without it. I wish families would stop trying to put square pegs in circle holes. It just doesn't work. If there is a rift in a family, let there be a rift. What I've learned from personal experience is accommodating that rift is a lot nicer than trying to force people together and having constant conflict that negatively affects everybody. With all due respect to aunt, to grandparents, to other people who are not the sisters in this scenario and interaction, it doesn't concern you. They believe that I'm wrong and have argued against my decision. They said I should listen to them and think about my actions. I'm the arsehole. You are not the arsehole. This is the biggest not the arsehole I've ever seen. That's probably an exaggeration, but I feel very strongly on this point. There is no wiggle around on this badge. Not the arsehole. What your family fails to process is that the invite was passive aggressive, and I'm sorry that they seem to think that that was okay for her to do. I think they do see that. They just don't care about the feelings of the people involved. They care more about their family reputation and what other people will think than about their actual loved ones and how they feel. And that's a really sad place to be. The sister clearly sent an invitation but doesn't want to look like the bad guy. Invitation. I've never heard that phrase before. It's like non-implements. I think she doesn't want to look like the bad guy. I wouldn't be surprised if the sister didn't want to send that and was forced to by the same family members who are like, go on, she's your sister. Let them do what they want to do. It's as simple as that. Maybe OP should send a photo of an invitation to anyone asking why she didn't go to the wedding. I'm petty. I appreciate your honesty. I kind of see where this is coming from too. I guess if some people did have questions, the problem is, a lot of people, even if they're thinking it, won't bring it up. Because why would they? That would just be messy. And if they did, I would not be throwing the other person under the bus. If you just don't want anything to do with them, fill your life with more positivity. Don't focus on the negative and create more drama around it. Channel your inner Elsa and let it the frick go. Family, you need to show up for family. Sister, I will literally separate you from the family if you show up. Rock on a hard place for both of you, I think. I think the biggest assholes here are definitely the family that are clearly forcing both of you into trying to be in a situation you don't want to be in. The point that keeps going around my head right now is that sometimes as adults we need to do things that we don't want to do. I do agree. Sometimes we need to put ourselves in positions that we don't particularly want to be put in, such as asserting boundaries, such as not being walked over. I don't think this is that scenario. I need to think about why a little bit more, and I think it's just self-respect, to be honest, and putting your needs above other people when they are clearly not putting your needs above their own. They're doing it for selfish reasons. As I've said multiple times on this channel, being selfish is an okay thing to do. Sometimes there are situations where you do need to put your own mental health and well-being beyond the needs of other people, and you not going would be doing that. But I don't think this is a situation where the family should be putting their needs above your own when the cost benefit of it clearly costs you more than it benefits them. I'm also just having a bit of a mind blown therapy session here with myself, because I feel like if I'd read this Am I the Arsehole even 5 years ago, my answer would probably have been very different. To be like, oh, just keep the peace, just keep the peace. The amount of times I've also been requested and seen other people do this, apologise, and literally say that the apology is for keeping the peace. Honesty goes such a long way. I would much rather people be honest with me, tell me, and then not be in my life if that is what is required, than keep a fake ass relationship that just constantly drains my energy, as well as the other people that I'm speaking to, because they also don't want to be there. I feel like I've gone on so long about this. We probably don't have time for another, so I'm going to leave it there. But what do you think, Peaches? Do you agree? Do you understand that boundary a little better? Is there a rule that we can set to this of when it's okay to feel as an adult that you have to do things that you don't want to do and times that are not? I know for certain that this is something that you should never feel forced to do, and it's something that I've always seen a lot of people feel forced into doing. So if you're in a similar situation, I hope that you feel empowered enough to put yourself in a position that you want to be in. in. But I definitely think I'd love to unpack this with you downstairs in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, lovely fuzzy butt peaches. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more. If you want to check out designing, remember the link is right there with the code SHAABA40 for 40% off. And I'll catch you next time with another video. Be kind and have a great day. Bye!